Hey YouTube, Jordy's Basement with another video on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. It's so nice outside. I was out doing some errands, and as you can relate to, if you're anything like me, if you're anywhere near the record store when you're doing errands on a Saturday, you end up in the record store. So I picked up a couple things I'll share with you now. No pattern to these. I just go in. My local record store is a place called Tunes. There's two locations of Tunes. If you're in South Jersey, you certainly know of Tunes. They've been there forever. One's a very good vinyl spot. The other one is a so-so vinyl spot. I ended up in the so-so one today, but it was where I was, so it is what it is. I didn't take the prices off of any of these. They're all cheap. They're all from the bargain bin today. This is Emerson, Lake and Palmer, The Works, or just say Works, sorry. I was showing the Queen album earlier today, The Works. This is just Works. I don't have this, obviously. I don't buy dupes usually on vinyl, so when I say I don't have this, it should be obvious. I never have it before I buy it and show it on here. But anyway, this is Works. Again, a double album, if you know about this one. One side dedicated to each of Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, and then a fourth side with the three of them. So on Atlantic Records, this is 1977. So it's a good copy. I looked at it. It's kind of beat up, you can see. But these black covers, it's tough to keep them in good shape when they're so old. But here's I don't have any Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young on vinyl. I don't have until now. This is Deja Vu. And I picked this up today because I'm a sucker for cool LP art and covers, and it's textured. The embossing, it's really nice. The copy of the vinyl is very good, so I was able to pick this up today. This is Deja Vu, really cool cover, iconic. So Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. All right, so Alan Parsons is somebody that, an artist that I've been wanting to kind of get more into. I haven't known much of his stuff. His name came up again recently when he was producing stuff for Steven Wilson, who was a favorite of mine. This is just a best of, I believe it's called, the Best of the Alan Parsons Project. They had a couple copies of iRobot today, a couple others, but they were in really bad condition. This one's in good shape. Kind of gives you a cool retrospective of the entirety of their career. So, the Best of the Alan Parsons Project. Give that a listen today and see what you think. This is one of my favorite albums of the 80s. I love electronic pop music like Aha and Howard Jones. And this is a Howard Jones album called Dream into Action. It's one of my absolute favorite albums of the 1980s. I absolutely love this album front to back, the extended version with all the extra songs. And I've had it on CD for many years, obviously cassette back in the day, and now I have it on vinyl. I haven't played it yet, just got home with it, but it was $2. So how can you go wrong for $2? It's classic. Howard Jones. And the last three I think are kind of special. So this one I've been looking for on vinyl for a while. I'm sure it's been out on a reissue, but I haven't wanted to pay the big bucks. I found two copies today. One was super warped and just in awful condition. This one is not. This is much better. This is Joe Jackson, Night and Day. I can't wait to hear how this sounds on good vinyl. When I say good vinyl, I'm not quite sure how good the vinyl is. I don't know why these were. This one doesn't look like it's perfect either. It looks like it's got some curvature to it. I'll give it a shot. I'll clean it up a little bit and we'll spin it and see how it sounds. But I love this album from the early 80s. It was just a great period for Jackson. Very prolific time for him. Songs like, Stepping Out and Breaking Us in Two, Real Men, Cancer, Another World, Trying to Find Chinatown. This is a great, great album from Joe Jackson, so I'm excited to hear it. Hopefully it works. Another one that I've been wanting to get, this was not in the right spot today. I was in the W's, I think, and Manfred Mann came up. This is The Roaring Silence. Kind of a weird cover with the ear and the mouth inside of it. Psychedelic. But this is the one with Blinded by the Light, the Springsteen song that they covered and kind of made famous in the mid-70s. You can see here the original liner notes. Kind of cool. But I had this 45 for Blinded by the Light. back in the day. And the flip side was a song called Starbird, which is on this record as well. And I flipped it over like any kid would, and I played it, and I fell in love with the flip side, Starbird, more than I like Blinded by the Light. So I've always wanted this album on vinyl, and today I saw it completely randomly in the wrong section. So I picked it up for $2. I looked at it, it looks like it's in good shape, so we'll give that a spin later today. And then finally, take this out of the plastic. This is I mentioned in an earlier video that I was a sucker for that mid-'80s, they call it hair metal, I prefer to call it pop metal. Rat was not a pop metal band, is not a pop metal band. These guys are for real hard rock, and anybody who's a Rat fan knows it. They don't sound like anybody else. Very unique, and just they have their own sound. This is their very first album. It was an EP just called Rat, but I love the cover. You can see it's got the glare, but the rats on the legs. It's fantastic. And look at this classic picture of the guys. How we miss him, huh? Robin Crosby. You're a Rat fan. Band hasn't been the same since Robin passed. And the band is fractured now. It's Steven's in the band. He's not in the band. He's in the band. He's not in the band. The drummer, Blotz, is in the band, not in the band. They have two different versions of the band. I don't know. But I picked this up today because I just love it's just one of those things, you just love the album artwork. To all our families and heavy metalists and dangerous women everywhere. And this was not produced by Beau Hill, who was the producer for most of the classic, it's about all the classic Rat albums. This is produced instead by Liam Sternberg and engineered by Ed Stasium, who I know from the Smithereens, who I'm a big fan of, and who we tragically lost their leader a couple of months ago. Also, Pat Denizio. So very sad there. And just the connection, everything connects at some point. So this is Rat, the self-titled EP, and I'll be spinning that one a little bit later today as well. That's it. That's the haul for today. Didn't go to the other tunes. Maybe they're still tomorrow. The Eagles game is tomorrow, so maybe not tomorrow, but I am overdue for a visit there for some more vinyl. So thanks again for watching, guys. Leave your comments on any of these records or any other you may recommend. And have a good weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye.